Hello guys, I thought I would just do a testimony today. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm just using my phone. So here goes. This is my testimony from going through my entire life, really. Ever since I was a young child, I knew there was a God. Now I did grow up in a half-Christian home, to what I believe. My mom introduced me to Jesus Christ when I was 6 years old. She had me pray the sinner's prayer, which we all know that doesn't do anything. You actually have to fully commit to God, which I understood later on in my life. So, growing up, there was something planted in my heart that I just knew that this earth was not my home, just a temporary one. And I knew that we are to live on this earth, but, not to be, not to connect with it too much, I guess. I can't really explain it other than that. It's a temporary life here, and I knew that. We all live and die, so I knew, but I felt in my heart there's something more. I just didn't know what exactly that was, or who that is, and yet to come. I'm sorry, I just wrote all of this down so that I could keep my focus. I'm so bad at focusing. All my life, I searched for love, to belong somewhere, and to be accepted as I am. I looked in all the wrong places, of course, as we all tend to do at first. I looked for a guy that, I could be with for the rest of my life. I really wanted that connection with somebody else. But time and time again, I did that all on my own. And not once did I ask God for direction. In some things I did ask direction for, but I never thought to ask, for a husband. I just thought I was supposed to do that on my own. Anyway, as I said, focus. I looked for a guy that I could be with, that I could love, and he can love me for who I am, and not just something to look at, which is what I went through a lot in my life. The sit pretty and don't talk, all that stupid stuff. I also dabbled, into some tarot cards and crystals. Now, I still like the crystals, but I don't use it for occult reasons anymore. It's nice to look at, that's all. And I was thinking that those things would get me closer to God. In my screwed up mentality, I was really messed up. That if I did these things, that it would make me grow spiritually and get me closer to God. Like I had to do something to get closer to Him, which is so not the case in real Christianity. Yes, we have a part to do, but in the end, it's God's grace that saves us, not us. We can't save ourselves. We can't save other people, but we can definitely pray for other people. But it's nothing that comes from us except Jesus Christ within us. So He works in us and through us. I hope that makes sense. And of course, me getting into the occult and dabbling into that, it actually led into something that was really terrifying in my life. Really terrifying. I won't get into that now, I will get into that in a future video. I just want to focus on one thing at a time. Still looking for love with tons of heartbreak, as I mentioned before. I found myself alone, very much alone. I began to think, what was the point in life? I was really miserable and very unhappy. I felt very empty. There was a void in my heart, like a hole. I did not feel complete at all. Like nobody wanted me around, or they do and only want something from me, which has happened quite often throughout my life. I was left with many dark thoughts and contemplated suicide twice in my life, actually. In my earlier years, I did, and contemplated, didn't actually go through with it. But it was close. I was really, really thinking about it. And again, in my late 20s, I was contemplating it again, because I couldn't find a way out from the hole that I dug myself in. I was so tired of going through pain and misery before turning to God with this question: what is the absolute truth? I'm tired of relying on people who always seem to be wrong at every turn. My way isn't working. I'm tired of being deceived. So tell me, what is your truth? So that's what I asked him, and then the next day I became sick, which the day was August 14th, 2014, and yeah, I still remember it to this day. It was a big event for me. But it didn't last long, the sickness, about half a day. I felt like I was being cleansed from the inside out, if that makes sense. There was a lot of darkness in me because I dabbled in the occult and trying to go my own way and finding love and just accepting all this darkness when I didn't even realize it, that I did that. So it felt like I was being fully restored and ready to receive him into my life. So there had to be like a cleaning of house, spring cleaning, and that was going through my body. And even when I look back, that's like really amazing. I can't believe that happened, but it did. And it's like a key. It's like a key unlocking my mind. It's like a sudden realization that I had with his word, the Bible. Not only my mind, but also my heart and my soul. It's just crazy for me to try to explain this to you, because I know what I went through. I know how he basically cleaned up my life for me, and he's teaching me still how to keep it clean. How to keep a house clean. That's exactly the only way I can actually describe it to you, is that. Like gardening even. I actually used that example a few years ago to somebody. You're like weeding a garden. Actually, well, God is teaching you how to do that, to de-weed a garden and keeping the nice flowers alive and well, much like that happened to me. Now, I'm not saying that I know that all there is to know about the Bible and his word. I don't, but I have a better understanding, knowledge and wisdom that he gave me when I asked him into my life and asked him what his truth is, and accepted him into my life. So I went through a year of catching up of the entire Bible, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. And yes, that means Revelation as well. I wanted to get a good understanding of where we are in the world, even today. My struggle at this point was real. I struggled a lot when I was at work, against, within myself, even just battling myself and others who like to gossip. And at this time, I didn't really know what gossip meant. But I think that was just God's grace on me, that I just, for some reason, I couldn't fathom gossip. I didn't know the definition very well. I know it sounds absolutely crazy, but I think that was God's grace, so that I could be slowly taught not to do that, because I think I had a really bad habit of doing that with my friends beforehand. So I think that was God. So I like to keep to myself at work, when off the clock, like when I'm on my breaks and stuff like that, or when I'm not working there anymore. I like to just keep to myself, just, de-stress, because for me, being at work, it was just stressful. And I like to do my own thing when I'm at work, or, during the breaks when I'm at work. I'm very much an introvert like that. But I also like people, which makes me, I guess, both an introvert and extrovert, but more introvert than extrovert, if that makes sense. Because I do like people. I do like to be around people, just not a huge crowd. Kind of drains me if I'm with a bunch of people all at once. I'm at 11 minutes right now, almost 12. I wanted to keep this video short because I can't go through my entire life explaining how my life was before fully committing to Christ, because I did grow up in a half Christian home. My mother was definitely a Christian. My dad, I don't think he was for a little while. I think he believed in God, but practicing it wasn't really there, or he battled himself a lot. And I won't get into that, but that's why I say half Christian home. But later on, my dad actually did become a full-fledged Christian. So he and I actually have good spiritual discussions and stuff like that. So I mean, it's great. My mom, on the other hand, because my parents are divorced, I don't see my mom anymore, especially now that I'm not in Canada. But again, I won't get into that. just wanted to focus on one thing today. And yeah, so I think this video is long enough right now. So I'll stop here, and I'll try to make more videos, just explaining about what I had gone through, and just more of my testimony, more in detail, if I can. Thanks to everyone who has watched. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe or like this, because you don't need to be told what to do by me. I'm your human being. But do listen to God. That's all I have to say about that. Just listen to God. So God bless you all. Thank you again. Goodbye.